Welcome to Watch It Real. I'm Ira Jersey, the men's general manager for Real Central New Jersey Soccer. We have started a fall spring men's program playing in the Eastern Premier Soccer League, a new conference called the Delaware River Conference. We had our first couple of matches over the last 2 weeks, and we are so far undefeated in those two matches. And we're here today to talk to our coach and some of our players. And I'm going to start today with Mr. Robert Nydick. He is our EPSL head coach. Coach, thanks very much for coming on Watch It Real.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about your coaching background, because this is not the first time you've coached at this level, but talk maybe about a little bit about your playing career and then what your coaching pathway has been.
Yeah, no, love to. So I grew up in southern New Jersey. Was an average high school player. Had a good career. I was a goalkeeper. Went to a Division III school my freshman year. In college, and I transferred to a Division II school, East Stroudsburg University, which was one of the premier Division II teams in the country, and was just coming off of a Final Four appearance when I walked on up there. So I was a walk-on player to East Stroudsburg University, ended up making a roster, and that's really where my playing career kind of finished up there. I was in essence, a backup goalkeeper up there, but wouldn't have had it really any other way. I just was part of a great team. Was part of played for Coach Jerry Seska, who's a legend. And that's really where I kind of figured out I wanted to get into coaching. Upon graduation, I didn't really graduated with that physical education and exercise physiology degree, and not really sure what I wanted to do. And after some things, called coach up, and he said, look, I can't pay you too much, but you could come up and join my staff. And, so not only did Coach Seska give me a chance as a player to be on his roster, on one of the top teams in Division II, he gave me a chance to start my coaching career off. And, it was just great from there. I spent about 2 years up at East Stroudsburg as an assistant coach. And then, I became the goalkeeper coach at Rutgers University back when they were in the Big East at the time, working for another legend, Coach Riasso, who's just a phenomenal guy and another very successful coach. Was at Rutgers for 2 years, then transitioned over to Stevens Institute of Technology as the full-time first assistant coach. So I moved away from the goalkeepers and was really now a full assistant, and played for Tim O'Donoghue, who's now the head coach at Navy at the Naval Academy. Was there for about.
I didn't realize that. That's so that's a rival to one of my alma maters. So at American University. So
yeah,
all in the Patriot League now, along with we actually pull a lot of players from the Patriot League for our USL2 team. So
great level. And then after Stevens, we had a run. We played in the national final that year, lost to Messiah College in penalty kicks, and the job at Arcadia opened. And I was fortunate enough. I was relatively younger at the time, but took over the Arcadia program when I was 27 or 28, and had a good run. I was there for 9 years. We had I think 8 winning seasons, 7 trips to our conference championships, and and just countless, great memories of Arcadia. It was a great school. And then they say everything changes when you have kids. And I've got 2 little ones now, so kind of transition out of it and now get my coaching fixed, currently with, local clubs and with Real. Oh, I think you're muted.
Who would you say? Thank you. Who would you say is your coaching style? So you have a different coaching style than many of the other coaches who I've seen, and you get involved. You put on your boots and you're in there not doing the activities, but certainly explaining and showing the activities to our players. Where did you learn that, or is that something that kind of you just made your own?
I think I've always been super intense, for lack of a better word. Probably as a younger coach, way too over intense, way too over involved. But it's funny. I love, I probably what I would like more than watching games and being a part of is watching coaches. And there's so many. Coach Riasso was very much like that, very involved, very into everything, and so he was definitely an influence on me. And I'm a it's because of the show on Netflix or Amazon Prime with Leeds. I've become a
Oh,
Bielsa fan.
Bielsa. Talking
Yeah.
about Bielsa. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've watched a lot of his coaching sessions, and I can't say I've always been a fan of his, because before that show, I really, and before he was at Leeds, I didn't know too much about him. I know he had done some things, but and starting to really follow him, that's one I would say, and watching, but it's great to get involved. I'm but you got to let the guys play. You got to, show it and let them play, and then get out there and get out of their way.
That's great. So Coach, we'll talk a little bit about our first couple of games, but first I want to bring in a couple of our players. First, we're going to bring in Raul, and let me unmute you, Raul, and also Mayor. And Mayor, you're unmuted as well, so just be careful what you say. So Raul, let's start with you. So you're another Central New Jersey native, and a soccer fanatic, as we turned out. You said you do a lot of stuff with street soccer and stuff before we came on, and you're Mexican American, and talk a little bit about your playing journey. Like where did you first kind of fall in love with the game, and where did you play growing up?
All right. Thank you for having me. Just thank you for being here. Just to start off, I first started playing just in the streets. I didn't have much club or academy growing up. Usually just pick up a soccer ball, call my friends over, and just meet up in the local in the streets, or if not, in the local park we used to play. Just either ball up, just no rules, just show with the love for the game that we just love for the game. That's how the journey started with me, just playing with my cousins, just locally.
That it's something that we miss, because I grew up a very long time ago, right? But in the 1970s and early 80s, when I was a little kid, like under 10 years old, and even when I was a young teenager, we just went into people's backyards and played 2v2, 3v3, kick the ball against the wall, that kind of stuff. A lot of kids don't do that anymore. So the fact that you were doing this, I think, is really interesting, because you're a very technical player, and obviously you learned a lot of your tricks and stuff just from playing in the streets, right?
Yeah, correct. And now thankfully they opening up some official street turf pitches around locally. So now instead of playing in the streets, now we could play what we used to call retas in like the local parks now, in a safer facility, and now kids could play like over the dark. So it's something amazing that just opened up.
That's great. And did you play in high school at all, or did you? You said you didn't really play club growing up too much.
Eventually I did get it. Ended up getting recruited for NGSA, playing Sunday League. I was blessed to have a full scholarship. Eventually, I had to leave that, because the only ride we eventually had as a kids, our ride got deported. So eventually, like, we couldn't have a ride to go to attend practices. So once NGSA fell off, I was already upcoming playing for high school, and played collegiate level for varsity all 4 years. Where my senior year.
And what high school was that?
New Brunswick High School.
New Brunswick, yeah.
Yes, New Brunswick High School. We went off my senior year winning 18 wins and 2 losses, which were in semifinals in counties and states, which was unfortunately, we went off with conference wins. However, we went all the way to like semifinals for states and counties, which was a very tough loss, since we had a great team. A very great team. I don't know what else can I say. Like,
and then the other thing that you said was, so you went to a relatively small liberal arts college, right? And you didn't play your freshman year because you didn't know how to go out for the team, right? But you did play collegiately, yes?
Yeah. So after playing high school, I didn't know the process really, and I took 1 year off playing soccer, and eventually ended up playing for College St. Elizabeth. A good friend of mine, Kevin Canseco, brought me over to the team. It was a brand new program. It was just a brand new opportunity to play, and I was just up for it, just going back to the soccer environment. And now, after graduating and playing D3 college, now I found RCNJ. Since it took a while since after COVID happened, I took another year off to find the team, and now I'm here at RCNJ, and gave me the first opportunity to be here again. So thank you for that.
we're so happy that you're here. Like, we found you because there were a couple of guys who played pickup together and said, hey, there's this new team starting in Central Jersey. We want to be part of it. And, you guys came out and really impressed. So, you are our goalkeeper, right? So he's pretty good too, right? He's your cousin, is he? Or
Yes,
Tony?
yeah, the goalkeeper Tony is my cousin. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So keeping it in the family. So let's go over to our inaugural captain, to Mayor. So Mayor, you're a student currently at Temple University, but you're not on their team, which is a little bit surprising. But let's talk a little bit about your soccer journey, because you're also a Central Jersey native.
Yeah, so in high school, I went to West Windsor, Plainsboro High School North, and that's around the Princeton area. I think freshman, sophomore year, I was in like JV, and then junior, senior year, I made it to the varsity team. Got some good playing time, but I definitely was not a standout player. I think I would play really well in practice, but out on the real field, I think I was really afraid to like get the ball, and I just didn't have that confidence and the intelligence sort of like instilled in me, which I think is a huge part of the game. It's not just the skill and the ability, but it's confidence and like knowing what decision to make, which is a big part of my game right now. And
so out of curiosity, so you're what year in school now? And
I'm a senior at university.
Okay. And you've been playing club soccer for at Temple, yeah?
No. This was literally my first semester playing club soccer.
So then, out of curiosity, where did you get your confidence then? Because you right now you never know that you were a shy guy on the ball. That's for sure, right? Is it just Raul in front of you and be like, hey, if he could do that, I can try it too, right? Like, what's giving you that confidence?
So I think it was a combination of things. So for COVID, I went to India to be with my family, and over there I played for like a sort of like a semi-pro team, and over there that's where I really started. I think what changed was I really started watching soccer games, because I know people watch soccer games, but like you watch it for entertainment. But when I started watching it, like, all right, let me take a center midfielder, somebody that I want to play like, and see every touch that he has on the ball. And even when he doesn't have the ball, look at his movements, look at whether he's checking his shoulders. So the little intricacies, and kind of completely imitate that style of play and make sure that I'm doing the little things that they're doing at that level, can definitely make me stand out at a lower level. And so just watching the game in a different way was definitely something that helped me a lot.
So Coach, out of curiosity, like that's interesting that even in, your however old you were, 21, 22 years old, like, that you can still learn these little tricks to play the game. Like, you're still developing as players here. So, Coach, how often was it that you saw a freshman who had maybe some raw talent, but, maybe didn't check their shoulders all the time? Like whether there are things that you ask those kind of players to do. So if anyone is thinking about maybe playing for Real Central New Jersey, but doesn't have the confidence like Mayor didn't a couple of years ago, and any tricks that you could maybe suggest to them?
I mean, what Mayor just said is the number one thing, watching the game at a high level, watching the players in your position, and really looking at it as more than just a fan. I coach so many youth teams, and, these guys, all these kids, they're watching the game more than I am. I'm not able to watch as much recreational soccer on TV as I want to, just because of life, right? But these guys are watching all the Champions League games. They're watching all and they're glued to the TV. But then when I really ask some of these younger players, like, okay, what was the movements De Bruyne was making or Mo Salah was making to get into scoring positions? Like, they're like, oh, well, he just scored, 3 goals. He just did this. He just did that. But really, like, okay, when the right center back has the ball, where's the movement? What is in, like, so to answer your question is what Mayor just said is, really watching the game and being a student of your position is essential. And even, as a coach, I'm watching the game and I'm looking to pick up different patterns, different movements, different, ways to cause back fours to have to deal with us. But yeah, I mean, that's it. And, and then, at the college level, you really have the benefit of film, but even here at Real, like, all of our games are filmed, and I just think it's an awesome tool, for all of our players to look and see those things.
I think Coach has made a nice segue. But before we do segue to just a little bit of video, Mayor, let me start with you. What have you thought of the level of play and how we're our competition so far? So our games have been tight, right? A 1-1 draw to start against another new club called International New Jersey, and then against Danubia Soccer Club, we got a 2-0 win, and quite frankly, had it not been for a couple of good saves, it certainly could have been a little bit closer. Of course, goalkeepers need to do their job too, and theirs made a couple of great saves too. So it easily could have been 5-2 or something. But what have you thought about the level of play and the competition so far?
I think that the level of play is really good. I'm not really sure what the EPSL's team falls under in terms of soccer level. But I think that it has been very, very competitive. And I don't know how these 4 teams were brought together, but it seems that all 4 teams have a certain level of play that's suited for each other. And I think that, it's pretty intense. It's not like one team is a lot better than the other. And it's going well.
So, and Raul, I'll ask you the same question, and maybe, since it wasn't that long ago that you actually played collegiately, how would you compare our matches in terms of intensity, in terms of skill and style to, when you played collegiately just, a year and a half ago or so?
It's high intensity compared to college. However, there's times where I slept. Actually, in the first couple minutes of the game, I was surprised how high intensity it was. Not playing collegiate level for over a year, I'm just like, it's at the collegiate level, or sometimes some games I felt like it could even be better than collegiate. I was just very surprised at the first 2 games, the first 5 minutes of the games. I was just like, wow, this is I have to be on my toes now. I thought it was just gonna be a normal just club team, just playing for fun or something, not even that competitive. But the first few minutes, it proved to me that, okay, this is the team that's going to get me a higher level where I want to be and reach higher goals. Just very surprised with the high intensity.
So so Coach, I'll ask you the same question too. Compared to your experience in coaching college for well over a decade, I would. Where do you think this level is? Is this at a collegiate level, do you think? Or
yeah, for sure. I've been pleasantly surprised with the talent on the team. I've been pleasantly surprised with the focus of the players. I didn't really know what to expect when I took over the team, but it's been super enjoyable. I mean, we have talented players, focused players, guys that want to get better. The training sessions, I can't wait until Wednesday nights for the training sessions. And then the first game, I mean, I felt like I felt after a college game, and and just a tightly contested game. The level is like the passion and the intensity and the focus. I've been really pleasantly surprised with it. I would rate it, I would say it's at the level of a high Division III type, intense environment. And there's certainly players out there on each of these teams that could be Division I players, but just a great, I've again, pleasantly surprised with everything.
Yeah. Mayor, do you got something to say? Yeah.
Yeah. Just going off of that, I think when we're trying to compare the levels of the two, college soccer and EPSL, I think it's also important to note that the training sessions are different as well. We get only one training session on Wednesday nights. And so it's like coach always says, we got to use every single minute of it. So it's very, very streamlined. It's very specific. And we're getting down to exactly what we need to do. So I think if we had the same training as a college team does, then who knows where we could be in.
Agreed 100%.
Months.
Yeah. And that's something I do touch on a lot is and that's another thing I've been really impressed with this group is they've bought into saying okay, it's a men's league team. We only get this one night, and guys are there in their foot. It's been really, again, I can't wait to get out there. But yeah, you have 5 days
Yeah.
of training with film work and everything else. It will take on a different look. Sure.
Yeah, and over time that may happen, right? Like
Yeah.
certainly, we bring in people from all over, and one of the challenges is we've had this challenge before with some of our other teams that if you try to have multiple nights of training, you get 2/3 of the team at each training, and you never get everyone together. So one advantage that we definitely have is that we have 22 guys all training together at the same time, and everyone hears the same lessons, everyone's on the same page, instead of having 14 at one and then 14 at another. And you either have to do that same training twice, which maybe could be good in some ways, but it also doesn't help you progress and move forward either. So I do want to give some kudos to you guys, because one of the reasons why I asked Mayor and Raul to be on this call was you guys were instrumental in the first goal for our EPSL team. So Mayor, I'm not doing this to embarrass you or anything like that. Okay,
no, it's okay.
So
don't renegotiate your contract now.
so let me set the stage here. So we had some really nice combination play, which Mayor was involved with. So he received the ball off of a throw in. He made a nice half turn, got the ball, made a run to the outside. The ball ended up going, I think, to Raul on the inside. Raul passed it back to Ibrahim, our number 9, our striker, and then who got fouled in the box. So that was the lead up to this, and Ibrahim doesn't like to take penalties. And so I guess on the field, how did you guys decide who was going to take penalties? Because we had talked about free kicks and corners, but we hadn't talked about who was going to take PKs before the match. Just the captain's armband,
I think Coach said my name. I think he said my name. So I just picked up the ball and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. Just be confident. I've scored in training. Like if you just kind of get into that same mentality where you just think repetition, can't go wrong. Put it on one side, hope it goes in. I mean, that's just how it is for penalties. But yeah, I'm sure the viewers have no idea what's going to come out. Like,
yeah, well, we'll show everyone. So we have here's our here we go.
I got your back. Don't worry.
Raul's got my back.
So there we go. So the ball. So actually, in fairness, the keeper made a halfway decent save. Hits the crossbar.
I thought it was a great save. Yeah.
So we will. So Raul. You were the guy off the line quick. You were, and I actually paused it because I was curious to see if the referee or the other team had. They were saying that he went in. You did not go in, and we'll show it from another angle here. Here we go again. Anyway, so inaugural goal for our EPSL team, just absolutely amazing. So at that point, what was going through your mind, Raul? Like, was it just intensity, get the ball right? This was late in the game. It was like the 65th minute or something like that. It wasn't like this was in the 20th minute when you were still relatively fresh.
No, yeah. I was just always on my toes, just staying ready. I just always make my run no matter what. I trust my teammate with all my heart. I just gotta always find the final run. Just continue my run. I just gotta make sure that I make my run and just do my job. After I was scoring, I was just like, the first thing that popped in my head, it was just like, all right, we're up 1-0. Let's go. Team, we're up with my team. That's all that really mattered for me at that moment.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, we did draw that game 1-1. It was, unfortunate. One of our defenders thought that the ball was going to go out of bounds and it stayed in, and it was just their best player happened to beat us. So I do want to show you guys one more thing, and Coach, talk a little bit about defending set pieces and counters, because even just thinking about some of the games I've watched this weekend, whether it's in Major League Soccer or USL League One, which I watch a lot of USL League One, just so everyone knows. But talk to us about defending those, because we did work a bit on that in our training sessions, and but it seems like a lot of teams are very vulnerable during, while defending set pieces and on the counter.
Yeah, as I told the guys when we went over it a couple weeks ago, it's like it's the one thing in our game that is that we can control. So there's really no excuse, and it's there's just a few things that if you get right on there, you're gonna just really increase your chances of success. Things like fighting for inside positioning against a runner coming across your body, and just even things like bouncing on your toes. Just being in the moment of what's going on, and little things to trigger your nervous system, and where you head the ball in the clearance, and I could go on and on, but it shouldn't. I never like to spend that much time where it's like with one session a week where we're spending a quarter of that on set pieces, but it's
Right.
something that we definitely need to review, and it's it's essential. And I think to credit that, like, our guys look organized on set pieces, and that's another testament to them. Like, they're focused, they're organized, and we've defended them pretty well.
So Mayor, let's talk a little bit about this. So this was I'm going to show a video of the winning goal from our match this past Sunday against the New. What you saw in that moment, Mayor?
That wasn't the winning goal. Yeah, that was the first goal.
That was the first goal, which was the winning goal because we won 2-0, right?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think it was off of one of their set pieces, and then I just love the perseverance of our forwards, because Ibrahim gets on the ball, he outmuscles one of their players, and you see Pierre and Jeff are 7 and 11, absolutely running as fast as they can. And I think the key point of that play.
Sorry.
A right back or left wing, and when you have people up there, it's like a 3v goalkeeper, and like yeah. So I think they did really well there.
Great stuff. So our next match is at home. We're at Mercer County Community College. Anyone can come out and see these guys play. We will have probably a new face or two on the pitch this coming week. Whether they come in off the bench or as a starter. Coach, any last parting words? Anything for Mayor and Raul to think about over the weekend or overnight before training tomorrow night?
No, I want to thank both of these guys for they've been a huge part of the level, and it's just been a pleasure to work with them. It's really a pleasure to work with this entire group. I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss coaching college soccer and coaching, and this has really just ignited a passion back in me to work with guys of this age group, and I'm just so pumped to be a part of it, and I can't wait to get back out there.
That's great. Hey, Raul, show us around your crib there a little bit, because it's all soccer all the time, right? You got boots hanging on your wall, you got flags and scarves.
I have my boots with my college showcase medal that I won with Princeton Soccer Association. I have no pain, no gain on the side right here. I have a believe. I have to believe. Always.
Oh, you got a football tactics board.
Oh yeah, I have a football tactics board since I do coaching as well.
This guy's gonna be Bielsa one day, right here.
And I have a little bench press out there to just staying ready.
So talk about that a little bit. You mentioned coaching. So are you coaching now? And yeah. So where do you coach?
I'm coaching New Brunswick High School, the freshman team. Coach Juba. He's the head coach right now for the varsity. Gave me the opportunity to join the program and coach and actually give back to the program that I was actually from.
That's awesome. So talk a little bit about that, because my experience, which is limited to my one son who just went through the freshman and junior varsity program at his high school. Yeah, how do you find coaching freshmen? There's a lot of games, right? You have 3 games a week, so how do you recover from that, right? You don't have a 2-game a week where you can have training, training, game, recovery, training, game. You can't do that kind of cadence, right? So talk a little bit about how you found coaching at that the ninth grade level. Yeah.
It was a big challenge to start off with. Like you said, we have a game practice. Once we hit final season, like once season starts, is like literally no break for the guys. It's very a long season for all of us. It's a little difficult to balance the injuries, the tired legs throughout the season. However, there's times where we just have to recognize our body throughout the season, and we just go through. Some days, if we know we have a high intensity game coming up, we will prepare for the game 1 or 2 days before practice. Hopefully, we have enough time. If not, we'll slowly progress. We won't go full 100% all the time because we'll like to preserve our energy, just not for that one game, or for like through the whole season.
So Mayor, let me finish up with you. So my son goes to Notre Dame High School, and a Colonial Valley Conference rival of West Windsor North. What was your big rival? Was it West Windsor South? Was it the Pirates, or who was?
Yeah, it was South. I remember the North-South games, and they were just completely electric. There were just a lot of people showed out for that one. And it was definitely the most nerve-wracking, most exciting game of the season, and something that would be talked about for the coming weeks. And it was a matter of honor, pride, all those things, So it was good times.
It was your local derby, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So Notre Dame High School is in Lawrence Township. So Lawrence High School plays Notre Dame for what they call the Mayor's Cup every year, and they and that's like the local derby around here. So they had cheerleaders on both sides, like yelling, doing chants back and forth to each other. It was a great atmosphere, I have to say. So, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you out there tomorrow night for training, and then we'll see hopefully everyone. We play Kensington Soccer Club this Sunday night at Mercer County Community College, 8 p.m. on the turf field. We will see you there. Admission is free, so come out, cheer these guys on. We would really appreciate it. With that, until next time, thanks very much for watching.
Thanks, guys.